for me, Jim. You know, this little room right here is where all the magic happens at. I really believe the stars will be made in this room. All right, we want to welcome everybody in the room.
This is the standard thing. I don't
And
change it.
we want to welcome our social media network. They're always out there in the vibe.
No, we are not taking audio.
And we want to welcome them. So we're going to kind of hold it down a little bit for you and just give us a vibe. And Larry L.Z. Dillon is going to be on the bass guitar. Just give him a nice round of applause. And also Jim Masters will be on bass. I'm sorry, on drums. Let's give him a nice round of applause and do this for you. Okay, Larry. So we're going to try to get into a couple things for you that we think are befitting for the room. We always try to pay homage. Their matches not play in between this because we're recording. Again, like I said, again, a new start. We're gonna do some things that takes you back to the Tammy Thomas era. This room was dedicated to Tammy T. Thomas 2014. So we want to play some of those tunes for you, just in that old style of blues. So the first one is some 145 blues in G, and we call it Okay, All Right. Sisters around the world. We want to play some blues, y'all, for you, and you. This is a blues, baby. Oh, yeah. is the blues. We're at 2733 North Street in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in the USA. Playing for blues for you and you tonight. Baton Rouge. Is everybody okay out there tonight? I think everybody knows the routine of it. Is everybody alright, y'all? Is everybody okay? Well, alright. Okay. Well, alright. Now they say the blues ain't nothing but a feeling, darling. That's what they say. They say the blues ain't nothing but a feeling. That is what they say. And if the blues ain't nothing but a feeling, darling, I am feeling blue. Oh yeah. Blues are blues, darling. Blues are blues. Blues are blues and blues, yeah. Well, alright. Okay. Well, alright. It's a little bit of the blues for you. We want to give an acknowledgement to all of the great people that visit the room and people that are part of the room. So I want to say a special thanks to the publicist, person that puts up with us the most in the camp, Miss Marcia Groff. Let's give her a nice round of applause. Hold on, guys. And we want to give up thanks to the camera crew that's here tonight. Martin and his crew. And Maui is here with him. Let's give up a nice round of applause for these guys coming out here to do something for you. Well, welcome everybody to the television show, because we do these things ultimately for TV, and we do these things for the community. Tonight is about television and vibing a little bit. I want to do this next one, Going to Louisiana. me. So we going to Louisiana, 'cause that's where we ought to be. Oh yeah, come on, baby. Come go with me. Oh, baby. Come go with me. Say we going to Louisiana, 'cause that's where we ought to be. Now we going. We going. Oh, we going. Yes, we going. Say we going to Louisiana, 'cause that's where we ought to be. Come on, baby. Come go with me. Oh, baby. Come go with me. And we going to Louisiana, 'cause that's where we ought to be. Thank you so much. Let's give it up for the band. Let's give it up one time. Let's make some noise. Come on. All right, that's going to be a wrap for us. We're going to let Jonathan Foster come and get this thing on for you. And we want to thank you so much for being a part of things tonight. This is Jonathan's, second return to the room? Third return, yeah.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None of you's even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
A Taste of the Deep South pre-party, 7 p.m. till midnight at Henry Turner Jr.'s Listening Room, November 3rd in Baton Rouge. A night of exotic foods, cultural dance, sponsors, HTJ and the Listening Room All-Stars. For tickets and more information, htjday.com or 225-802-9681, htjday.com.
I'm gonna ask you something. How did Bonnie be a policeman? You know Andy Griffin? How did he become a policeman? Got one bullet he carried in his shirt pocket and don't know how to load a gun? What about Green Acres? Onions a smart pig, isn't he? If anybody try to make a pass at Miss Whipper and Miss Zipper, he'll squeal on them. What about the Star Trek? Captain Kirk had all kind of women, didn't he? Green women, it didn't really matter to him. McCord had his share too, that's why they call him Bone. Yeah, but Bart didn't care too much about it, that's why he went up on his ear, because he liked to listen. Yeah, number one. Number one, that's a fudge you can count. That's a fuzz he could count. He always number one. Can't go no further than that. How far in school you go? First grade? Number one, first grade. What building they had you in, the T building? They can't get it right. That's with the T building. Okay. Thank you.
That's my saints. The whole world can see. That's my saints. Oh yeah. That's my saints, baby. That's my saints. Do you know what I mean? I ain't talking trash. It's just a fact. Baby, that's my saints. That's my saints. Listening Room Film Festival, December 3rd through the 11th. Connecting indie filmmakers and music producers with broadcast professionals across the state of Louisiana for marketing and promotional opportunities. For information on how to be included or to attend the screenings, lectures, and panels, htjmuseum.org or 225-802-9681. Sponsored by Louisiana Department of Economic Development, Visit Baton Rouge, and Louisiana Film Channel. A Taste of the Deep South, pre-party, 7 p.m. till midnight at Henry Turner Jr.'s Listening Room, November 3rd in Baton Rouge. A night of exotic foods, cultural dance, sponsors, HTJ and the Listening Room All-Stars. For tickets and more information, htjday.com or 225-802-9681, htjday.com.
This first song is called River's Name. Can't recall the stories, I didn't write them down, about the river in the forgotten sound. But when you close in your eyes, you will see those days in the endless nights, clearer than the water will ever be, clearer than the water.
So I think the color will
Was a
burn.
girl sharing echoes, songs from yesterday, swimming under
Shall I take
the
shots from
moonlight. When you close in your eyes, you will see those nights when you looked at me, clearer than the water will ever be, clearer than the water. called The Devil's Darn. It's a made-up song about dragonflies. I like to say it takes place on that highway stretch from between here and New Orleans, where you got nowhere to go but to hang out with the alligators. From the cypress swamps and bogs to below sloughs, where those rivers twist and fold to the muddy bayous. A legend has been told, ask a young promote, the devil's daughter is coming after you. A little boy snuck down to snooze right beside a stream and skipped out all his chores behind his ears, feeding clean. And by the banks his parents only heard this terrifying scream. Well, they searched for days, he ain't been seen. All you lazy children, the devil sent them here. He'll dawn your eyes, knit your nose, sew your lips, and his stinging feels like fire, make you drop and roll. How many will it take to haul away your soul? Well, listen to your elders, do what you are told. Don't you let the devil's daughter take your soul. And if you find yourself a black fire cloud at dawning needle pond, hope for comfort underneath the adder servants right on. Don't you fall asleep a waterside.
Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great pleasure to have you back again, man. You know, listening to your music and watching the vibe and remembering the first time I saw you, you know, in action and the song you wrote for your grandmother and stuff like that. It was really, really touching, man. Really touching.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah.
It seemed like you're a lot more relaxed in terms of playing.
There is something about returning to somewhere where you've been accepted and, you know, all the mystery's gone a little bit. You can focus on the tunes. You totally got that. Probably 10 times as relaxed than last time. Just, you know, new place, new friends, figuring it out. It's a cool situation here too that you don't get to experience every night when you're on the road, to have a, you know, the listening audience, the TV cameras, and but what the most important thing is to get to drive home the songs and get to play them, and thanks for listening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know for you, just like for me being a songwriter, you know, you have favorite places to go, and you know when the audience loves you, and you know when they accept you. You know when you feel like you're kind of at home on stage or whatever. You know, you feel like you're under pressure. You know, and it's all different. You know, every venue, every time. Since you've been here, I know you've had the opportunity to move around a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, any interesting things out there that are memorable to you? Have you had some good experiences? Because I was looking forward to tracking to just see how things go with you. Because
Oh yeah.
I love when songwriters are developing and getting their thing, getting their groove. You know.
Yeah, this is my 10th year on the road, but these last 2 summers that we've gotten to know each other a little bit have been the busiest 2 years of my life by far.
Is that right?
And so, you
What
know,
made the difference, you think?
well, I got help booking with Christopher, and that's how I met you guys.
Very aggressive.
Yeah, he's very aggressive and very thorough. And so, you know, I'm getting to see places I probably would have never had an opportunity to see because he's pushed me to venture
Those
out
places.
more. Yeah. So this is about my 4th trip through the South in 2 years, which has been fantastic. You know, this week was from Austin to Little Rock to Natchez to Baton Rouge here. We're in Clarksdale, Mississippi tomorrow, and then on to Atlanta area for 3 shows starting Saturday. And so back to your first question about, that's probably what's helped me the most, of like discovering new places that were either not accessible or uncomfortable in the past, and having this kind of whole new awakening that, wow, my music can be accepted in different places I didn't think it would be. It's sometimes hard to find your foothold when you're an independent and songwriter.
Well, when you're trying to track it yourself, it's very, because you're hung up on your thoughts about everything versus
we can look in the mirror.
Versus somebody sending you somewhere and saying, "Oh no, you'll fit, you'll be fine."
Yeah, indeed.
So the intensity, the diversity, is it affecting your songwriting? Is it making you think differently? I mean, because when you see different things, you feel differently.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting pen to paper happens every day for me, but then getting a song to the finish line requires me not to be doing these crazy miles type of thing. So
do you travel with a recorder with you? Because I know, it gets to a point where you kind of almost have to have a recorder with you. What I found is like cell phone recorder is actually like a serious way to capture.
All my demos end up on the phone first. So they add dictation through voice. I still like writing though.
Of course.
And for the first time I have a stable of melodies. I don't usually have that at my disposal. And I try to write every day. So when I can settle down a little bit, like I'll be pushing 200 shows this year, I think, when it's all said and done. I'll take a break and really start honing some things. And I feel like I try to be a sponge for everywhere I go, and like, grab influence from wherever I can. So I'm really hoping that there'll be some different sounds that come out from it on my next album. So it's been just over a year now since I released my last project. And I put a single out this spring, standalone, which I played tonight, The Mountain Echo. So we've been promoting that a little bit.
So was it difficult promoting through the pandemic and all that stuff? I mean, because I know things are a lot different, in terms of how you access and what you do.
Yeah, through the pandemic, I became regular at streaming.
Of course, everybody.
Right, not doing that as much on the road, but on certain shows, and then tomorrow, it's my 25th year high school anniversary, and they asked if I would stream a part of that show tomorrow night back from Mississippi to New York, and so that'll be kind of cool to do. I think the pandemic taught me to just diversify, put your feelers out in as many directions as possible, utilize the technology and the social media and the internet to an extent that you can handle, but I'd still rather be here with you in person and share songs live like you do.
I was just curious because I know for us the pandemic changed a lot of things, and a lot of things that we were doing in person we had to start doing virtual. And even now in proposals and concepts that we're putting out for future projects, with the COVID numbers rising again, now virtual's going right back into proposals and all that stuff, virtual and live, or virtual and in person. I'm noticing like a lot of the grants that are coming down through the nonprofit arena and community, it's the same thing. They have in there virtual or in person. So in other words, everybody's expecting if the pandemic breaks out again and gets to that major point, that they'll have to, go virtual again. So everybody's kind of feeling that.
Bracing, it doesn't seem to be getting any better this summer, unfortunately, for that. And
so record stores, are you experimenting with vinyl yet? Stuff like that?
I have one vinyl record. It's a single. So 2 songs. And
how's that going?
I'm almost sold out. And what's fantastic about it is the younger folks are picking up my music for the first time because I have a vinyl record. Probably would have never had my music in their hands, so that feels good. Finding pressing opportunities has been
few and far, and it takes so long.
So
and man, before the end of vinyl, before the turnaround time was 3 weeks. Now it's like 4 months, 5 months.
And you're competing with the bigs. Rainbow Records was in LA pressed my single, and they went out of business that same year. And little did they know the resurrection and what the pandemic was going to bring. And so I don't know if they have surfaced
So you
again.
get your plates and all that, though. You
Yeah.
can go somewhere else.
Somewhere else if I need
Good.
to. But
Good.
yeah, the ideal would be to put the new, a new album, full album out. But yeah, between scheduling, timing, and financing, it's one of those
So
proposals.
what about CDs? How do you feel about CDs?
I still feel like it's the best audio that we can put our hands on, and my producer and engineer feels the same way, and we like the album concept, and he feels like the CD is going to make a resurrection. I shrug my shoulders. I keep them, and I like them.
Well, vinyl is made a resurrection, so it's possible.
Yeah, you can't beat the audio,
Right, right.
And but it's depressing when you hear people like, "Oh, I don't even have a CD player anymore. There isn't one in my vehicle,"
Right.
and you're like, "Ooh."
Yeah, the manufacturers, they've gone all into subscription rate-based radio and all of that. And
Yeah.
they kind of rule the whole thing because they're pouring money in left and right.
Yeah.
You can't. It's hard to compete with that.
Yeah.
And that's changing the whole face of what we knew as record sales.
Yeah.
But I was just at a music conference and they talked about the return of record sales and how they have actually started to increase again.
Oh, good.
So it's really interesting, and along with compact discs as well. But it's all like collectors, and,
Right.
because I mean records, like I've always had some vinyl records around because collectors were buying them from us, and some of our original releases from the '80s, like 79, 80, up to 85, people still buy those vinyls from us.
Yeah.
In the UK.
Nice.
Crazy,
Right. So you got to keep that toe in the water and the
And I
the
feel
game.
like CDs are going to do the same thing. It's
Right.
going to become a collector's market for a while. Then eventually people will probably come back around. But who knows how long that'll take.
Right.
So I heard you say you're touring through August or something like that?
This tour technically goes through the third week in September
Okay.
for the summer tour. That's
Okay.
Reading and back. I take a couple weeks off here at the end of July and first week into August. Visit family, play a couple hometown shows. I just got a notification from the high school. I went to high school 16 miles away from where I grew up. Ride the school bus 2 hours a day, and so there's a hometown hotel bar there that just confirmed for Friday while I'm back. When I'm off,
Nice,
and
nice.
but it's good to have that reconnection. And as I'm getting a little more of an elder statesman, I guess, it's more comfortable, and you feel like
So now you
it's
said
not
elder
work.
statesman. How old are you? It's hard to tell. How old are you?
I'm 43.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
my hair
So
hasn't quite turned gray yet.
Yes, but you're on the way. You're on the way. You get close enough to where you're starting to think like an elder. I got you.
Yeah, so it's like balancing like, oh, I want to be a rock star, or I've got to really kick butt tonight, to I'm giving back, or I'm going to have a good time doing this and reconnect with with people.
I think whenever you can get back to the original reason you started playing music, that's always the fun part. Because when you have to do it for a living, it gets pretty grimy. Because you have to start saying no to a lot of stuff, and yes to things that are high dollar.
Yeah.
And that takes it into a whole nother realm. You end up in a lot of places you don't want to be fast. It's like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do this, but the money's there.
Right.
So
Yeah, got to fill the gas tank and pay the bill.
So speaking of that, how's the economics? Are you able to eke out a living from what you're doing?
Yeah, these 2 years, yes. While I'm home, so I'll be on the road for about 7 months this year,
Right.
and that's solvent and that is sustainable. Even with gas prices, I'm able to figure that out. While I'm home, I scale back.
course.
I don't play every night, and I sometimes don't even play every weekend. 'Cause I don't live in an area that probably isn't beneficial to grind it all the time. You really have to move around to make it work. So
No, I know that feeling. I mean, the more I toured, the less I played at home.
Yeah.
And for 25 years, I experienced that to the point where I was barely wasn't playing at home at all. I would come home off of a tour and only work on studio records and
yeah,
videos and stuff, and just kind of. I didn't even think about it. It was almost like I'm on vacation because I'm at home, And it's like, oh, I got to get ready for the next tour. I got to get ready, So I know that feeling,
Yeah.
All of those things leads you to a conscious moment in time in the business eventually. And I mean, do you feel like you're reaching an audience that you're, good with, or you feel like you hadn't found that total niche yet, or what are you thinking?
I play tug of war with that in my head kind of regularly. That I feel like I still am, reaching one listener at a time, and that there's still plenty of growth to be had, but I'm not plateaued either, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't feel like I have the audience numbers that I need to be comfortable. That's for sure. So it's just like every month, every year, every week gets a little bit better. And when you do kind of grow that in more markets, and people have you back, and people come out to see you more often, things get a little more, I wouldn't say easy, but somewhere in that. I don't know what word it is.
Well, that's fine. Also, with the advent of social media and all the other stuff, and all of the other ways that people can see you, for instance, the trumpet player that played with my band, Casey.
Yeah.
He reached out to me tonight, and he says, "Oh, Jonathan is there, man." He says, "I really like his work, man." He said, I think I should reach out to him. He said, "I will reach out to him tonight after the performance is over," or stuff on Facebook or something. So he was probably watching a performance tonight, stuff like that. He couldn't be here. He had a busy weekend with us last weekend down at the music conference. Then he had a bunch of other stuff he was doing. But
it was cool seeing him on TV with you tonight when I walked in. I'm
and
like,
he was watching it too.
I asked Marsha, who's the horn player?
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Casey.
But that's just an example of how many, audience members that are out there that you don't see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You never know who's watching.
Yeah.
And, I know for me, it's like trying to add that component in and trying to think about that component on a regular basis. Sometimes it's quite a headache because you got to think about there might be 25 people in a room or 15 people in a room, but then there might be 50 people online.
Right.
So you got to add them both together to say what the audience was.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting, very interesting. So, so you're making headway, and you feel like you're gaining an audience base. Have you started putting packages together and opening for other artists and having some artists open for you? Have you started that process yet?
Not quite in that sense of promoting it that way. But yeah, there definitely is the next steps that you need to make to become more of a national act of, between the festivals or bigger draw situations. But, it comes in fits and starts, with getting a festival here, a festival there, which have, built-in fan bases. That's always nice for somebody like me that can do an opening set for 10 songs or whatever, and that's rapid growth of audience members if they're like somebody else. But now, right now, we're not quite in that. That would be the logical, natural next step. And I've always wanted to do Canada or Europe too someday, those type of opportunities. But so we're still trying to chip away at, grinding down, doing these big trips. And but yeah, so last night there were 6 performers, at the show, and not just from Natchez, but from a 3-hour radius type of things. And so it's good making those connections, see what other people are doing, trade notes, and
that's exactly what those things are designed for.
Right.
Where you can swap markets, you can make contacts and bring people to your market and push back to their market. And that's the magic of that, partnering with shows and putting packages together and trying different things like that. So that's cool. So you're getting there, because if you're playing like that, then you're almost there. It's just a matter of when you're gonna, kick in the gear on that next mode.
Right.
Yeah. But man, that's great. So a lot of good things are happening for you, I can tell. And again, like I said, you seem real comfortable, man. Like, I notice a relaxing thing with your music. You just kind of relaxing into it, and that's the beauty. The beauty is to get to the point where it feels like you're sitting down on your front porch or on your couch,
Indeed.
playing music,
Well, your venue helps with that too.
It's very homely place. It's like,
you have the great food, you have the great people, you have great stage, sound, lights.
Yeah.
So that makes it's a venue, and it's not just you're not just in the corner of a loud bar room and
somebody shooting pool going, what?
Right.
Play it again. Play some Skinner. That was the big thing they used to do. That's play some Skinner.
And that'll come this weekend, I'm sure. But
well, hey man, I always have to ask the question. I always have to ask the question: if someone approached you, some new person in the music business, and the experience you have now, the things you've experienced in the music business.
Just pop it, girl. He like it when I slow it down and drop it. Just drop it, girl. You wanna taste my honey, sticky sweet. So sweet, so sweet. He like it when I pop it. He like it when I pop it. Just pop it, girl. He like it when I slow it down and drop it. Just drop it, girl. Just drop it, girl. Taste my honey, sticky sweet. So sweet, so sweet. He like it when I pop it. Just pop it, girl. He like it when I pop it. Walking around, sipping on my drink. Yeah, the DJ plays my song. Me and my girls head straight to the door and get our groove on. Here comes the fine men standing around, watching us do our thing. We cutting up with our hands on our knees, can't keep their eyes off us. He like it when I pop it, yeah. He like it when I slow it down and drop it.
Just drop it, girl.
He wanna taste my honey, sticky sweet.
So sweet, so
He like it when I pop it.
Just pop it, girl.
He like it when I drop it down, then I swerve it around. I know I'm driving him wild. He like all this ass in my jeans, yeah, and how I make it bounce. All the ladies dancing all around. We having so much fun. They watching us dance and twerk and shake it all night. Oh, y'all is going down. He like it when I pop it.
Just pop it, girl.
He like it when I slow it down and drop it.
Just drop it, girl.
He wanna taste my honey, sticky sweet.
So sweet, so
He like it when I pop it.
Just pop it, girl.
He like it when I pop it. Ladies, where y'all at? Y'all see all the fine men watching us do this thing out here? Well, as long as he watch, I ain't stopping. So come on, ladies, and let's show these men how we pop it and drop it. He like it when I pop it. Yeah. He like it when I slow it down and drop it.
Just drop it, girl.
He wanna taste my honey, sticky sweet.
So
He
sweet.
wanna taste this honey, y'all. Pop it.
Just pop it, girl.
He like it when I pop it, yeah. He like it when I slow it down and drop it.
Just drop it, girl.
He wanna taste my honey, sticky sweet.
So
He wanna taste this honey, y'all. Pop it.
Just pop it, girl.
He like it when I pop it. Ooh, yeah.
Wow, what an incredible experience. A lot of great talent in this room. But we'll see you next time. Take me to the bridge one time.